Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Thanks so much for being here. In today's video, I'm going to go over the best warm-up that you can do as a footballer before any gym session, before any team training session, and before any game. I actually do this all the time before the gym, before team training, and before the match. So I do this to warm up the joints as well as the muscles before our activation that we do with the team. So I'm going to walk you through the entire thing. It should take you about 5 to 10 minutes. So as you saw in the beginning, we did some feet in and out, which is excellent for the everters and inverters of the ankle, as well as the proprioception of the foot. Then I went into knee circles, as you saw there. So you do 10 to 20 reps in each direction. And all you're trying to do is you're just trying to move your knees slowly through the ranges of motion. These are excellent for the ligaments of the knee. So then as you see here, we went into figure eights. And the whole goal is to find a proper flow and a proper rhythm in your movement. So don't do it too quickly, too jerky. Really find a proper flow. And the whole goal is to keep a proper gravity line. So as you see, the head is nice and neutral, chin is back, almost creating a double chin. The ear and the hip and the shoulder are in line, and then obviously when the feet are underneath, the whole goal is to create a proper gravity line. So then we go into a PSOAS activation. So as you see, simple knee lifts, switching sides, 10 to 15 reps each side. Very important muscle for footballers. Obviously, the hip flexor is very important for kicking, for running, for sprinting, and generating power. And then all you're going to be doing is you're driving that knee high up towards your chest. You should feel a nice activation, obviously, in that psoas region, which is what I'm feeling. When I'm working on these movements, I like to sometimes put my hand on the muscle that I'm working, so it gives direct sensory feedback, direct sensory input to what I'm working with. So as you see here, we do a hip up, out, and in to work the external, internal rotators, as well as the psoas. And we do about 21 total reps here. So up and out, up and out, up and out. Work for about 20 to 30 reps. Really feel it in that hip. The whole goal is to open up that hip. As you know, as footballers, the ultimate goal is to warm up and activate the specific muscles that we're going to work with. This is also a very important one. Hip swings. So you're going to do 5 to 20 reps in the front, 5 to 20 reps in the back, and then 5 to 20 reps total range. As you're going to see, this is really working the balance of the standing leg. So you see that knee is nice and bent. The foot is almost gripping the ground, but not too tight. So we're working the proprioceptors, but you're really working the balance of that other leg. So you're working the glute medius of the other leg, which is a very important muscle for the pelvis. And as you see with those hip swings, you're working on the adductors. You're working on the groin, which is very important for footballers. As you see here, I'm also working on my balance. And the whole goal, what I want you to do, is I want you to try to do this warm-up barefoot. When you do it barefoot, it's going to improve the strength of your foot, and it's going to improve the balance. Like I said before, it helps you get a nice sensory input of the ground. So last thing we do is the front and back. So you take the two movements. As always, we start simple and then we get more complex. You take the two simple movements, the front and the back that we worked on, and you're mixing it together. So now you're working on the glute medius as well as the adductor in unison. So I wanted to go outside, get some better lighting for you boys and girls. Then we did some hip forward in and out. Should be about 21 total reps here. So you're doing about 7 rounds there. So it's up, out, in, while keeping a nice stable gravity line the entire time, keeping that core nice and engaged. So as you see here, same exact thing. We're working the balance on the other leg. We're working the proprioceptors of the foot. We're working the intrinsic muscles of the foot to keep yourself nice and engaged. As always, breathe in and out through your nose the entire time. Just have fun. Just enjoy it. Everyone's going to look at you funny because they've never seen something like that, but that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. We're here to be different. We don't want to be the same as everyone else. We are unique. That's what makes us different. Next thing, moving into some open the gate. So I'm sure you've done this as a footballer. You've probably done it moving, but once again, doing it stationary, you're going to work on the stability, you're going to work on the balance of the other leg, which is crucial before getting into more active and explosive movements. So as you see, you're working nicely on that glute medius, which is the main stabilizer of the pelvis to keep yourself grounded and locked in. And as always, we're keeping the knee pointed forward. We're keeping the foot and the toes pointing forward. We're keeping the hips pointed forward. I like to say to my one-on-one clients when I work with them in person or I'm working with them online on Zoom, we want to keep those headlights of the hips pointed forward. We don't want to be shifted. So then we move into a external, internal rotation of the hip joint. I like to go 10 reps low and then 20 reps high. Very, very good. I love this one for the hip. Really opens the hip nicely, gets it loose, gets it fluid, works on the mobility because the hip is a ball and socket joint. So you're working the ball and socket of the joint with this movement. So as always, we want to work the joint in the correct way. Then we move into your favorite, the anterior posterior pelvic tilts. Everyone loves this one. A little good work for practice in the bedroom. You guys and girls better be behaving, but you got to do what you got to do. All my teammates love this one. When I'm doing it in the warm-up, they all make fun of me, especially the African guys. They crack up. So do about 10 to 30 there. It may look funny, but working that movement, controlling the pelvis is very important. Then we move into some side lunges, stationary, continue to open up the groin, continue to open up the adductors. As I said, very, very important for footballers. Really moving fluidly and grooving that movement. And as you see, we're fully lengthening. Next one, we open up those legs and we're working some spinal translations. So you're moving from the pelvis. You're keeping the legs and the feet grounded into the floor, activating the glutes, and then you're just moving from the pelvis. So as you see, we go 5 to 10 reps one side, 5 to 10 reps the other side, and then 20 total reps. As always, staying engaged in the core, breathing in and out through your nose, and really just feeling the fluidity and the movement. So getting towards the end of the warm-up here, some QL side reach, so about 5 to 10 reps on each side of reaching while that other arm is reaching downwards into the center of your leg. So you're breathing in and out through that movement, and you want to feel that in the side of your body, the QL region. So last thing we do to fully activate is 10 to 20 reps of body weight squats to engage everything we just worked. After that, you are fully ready to go. Enjoy.